Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa and you are watching the Exploring Oracle, or the Exploracle for short. Today we will be taking a look at the Ferenc Pinter Tarot. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It is a Los Scarabeo deck, but it comes in this two-piece pull-apart box, which means it has like a thicker cardstock than other Los Scarabeo decks. Okay, let us take a look. It has these extra cards and the guidebook. So the text is by Charles Harrington, but of course the art is by Ferenc Pinter. So for the table of contents, as with all Los Scarabeo decks, it comes in multiple languages. So you have about 30 plus pages of text in English. So it just has some information about tarot and art. So it talks about the artist of the deck, Ferenc Pinter. So he did create the major arcana art for this deck, specifically for the tarot. But for the other minors, it was Los Scarabeo who chose the associated minor arcana with a pre-existing art that he made. Okay, so interpreting the art of tarot, major arcana, what the minor arcana is, the courts of the tarot. It has a spread, and then it goes into the meanings of the cards. So it does describe the image and tells you the meaning. So even though you only have a few pages, it looks like it's not just keywords, so it looks like it's a pretty decent. You get some pretty decent information in the guidebook. Okay, so let's put that to the side first. Here are the backs of the cards. It is not reversible because there is text at the back. Carpe diem, seize the day. And then the cardstock is glossy. It feels a little bit thick. It is a pretty thick deck. I think I might have some difficulty shuffling it, but let's see. It feels sturdy. It snaps back, so even though it's a thick cardstock, it snaps back really well. Okay, so let us zoom in and take a closer look at all of the cards. Okay, so I got this deck because I was so drawn to La Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot that I wanted to add a little bit more variety into the decks that I have that use pre-existing art. Now I know that is a hit or miss, and also I am not great at art. I know very little about it, but I do love looking at it. Like pieces like this are so beautiful to me, and that is why I was drawn to pick up this deck, even though I knew that it used pre-existing art, so which is, as I mentioned, is like a hit or miss. Oops. Okay, but of course for the major, since he created it specifically for the tarot, it would be very close, or it would closely illustrate what he envisioned for the deck. It is the Hangman though is quite interesting. I'd be interested to see what the guidebook says about that. The moon. The deck is colorful, but it is not, I think the term is saturated, although you have this green that's very bright, but there's like a mood that it makes you feel. It's not very bright and bubbly. Four of Wands. So you just have, it's more or less borderless, but you just have a little little bit of space at the bottom where you have the number of the card in the suit. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about all of the minors yet. But again, that's the thing with art-based decks, because it would use, or it's more or less just a, you try and relate pre-existing art to the meaning or to what that particular suit or card would mean. This is a really beautiful Five of Cups. If you do want to take a closer look at the cards, don't hesitate to slow down or pause the video. I tend to go through the flip-throughs pretty quickly, but if you need more time, you can just pause. So some of the images are not landing for me, or they're missing the mark for me, but I think I can still work with this deck. But maybe it's really going to be more of like an art deck. I wouldn't really be using it to read with, because there are some images here that I absolutely love, like the Lover's card in the majors. I think it was also the Sun card. Yeah, so there are some cards here that I really like. Some are just okay. This kind of reminds me of, oh, what was her name? The girl in Downton Abbey. Yep. The eldest sister. What was her name? Let me check. Okay, so for some reason, this card reminds me of Michelle Dockery's character, Mary Crawley, in Downton Abbey. I don't know, but that just gives me those vibes when I look at it. And then you have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so I zoomed out so we can see how this shuffles, and oops, it is a little bit challenging. The cardstock is stiff, and the deck is thick, so I would need to no. It's a little bit difficult to riffle shuffle, which if you've been watching my videos, you know that I love to riffle shuffle my decks. So usually decks that I can't riffle shuffle or shuffle well enough don't stay too long in my collection. I know that it might be a simple reason to let go of a deck, but it is a big part of my practice, and I do want to be able to shuffle my decks well. However, it does seem to side shuffle really well. I don't feel any sticking, even though the cardstock is a little bit glossy. So let's see. We have to wait and see if this deck would be staying or possibly leaving my collection. But yeah, okay, so let's read for the King of Wands. Okay, so for the King of Wands, the description says, A man stares with a piercing gaze from behind glasses with flame-colored lenses. The essence of this card: the King of Wands has a powerful will and is a master of inspiring others. He is a visionary and will use all the resources at his disposal to acquire what he has set his sights on. In a reading, this king is not one to hold back when his goals are in sight. His passion and willpower fuel the fires of conquest, but just as importantly, he can stoke that fire in those who follow him. This is a call to take command, to employ the qualities of good leadership and political acumen. Communicate your ideas to others and win them to your side. Boldness, frankness, and forthrightness will be admired. Beware of letting your passion consume you or allowing yourself to move from just management to domination. Note the tension in his hands. So, I like how this guidebook reads. And usually that is also a big factor of whether I keep a deck or not, because yeah, so I'll see. I have to see. I mean, it's too early. I usually do the flip throughs for decks that are new to my collection. I usually do the flip throughs to bond and get to know the deck. So that is an experience that I usually share with you when I go over these flip throughs in my channel. So aside from showing you what the deck looks like, if you're interested in it, it's also a way for me to really look at the images, because when I edit the video or look back into it and I hear my initial thoughts, it kind of helps me connect with it more. So yeah, but the guidebook is, well, at least for the one that I read, I really like it. I have to read it. And there's a lot of really beautiful art here. But some are, I just have to say, weird. And some are not just specific. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's the best. Well, I can't say that because, you know, you are working with pre-existing art, but some of the cards don't really reflect the energy that I want to see in that particular card. But I don't know, I'll have to see. But this is probably one of my favorite cards in this deck. Yeah, so that has been the Ferenc Pinter Tarot. It's by Los Carabeo, and it is a mass market deck, so it's readily available. If you like this video, please don't forget to click on the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos like this at least once a week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!